10 crops still beat the clock right now. And the trick that saves your carrots? You'd never guess it involves a wooden board. Most gardeners think June is the closing bell. It's actually the starting gun for heat lovers. Soil that hit 50 degrees in April is now humming in the 70s, and seeds that sulked in May germinate in 3 days. The whole game in June is one number: days to maturity. Flip the seed packet. If it says 50 to 65, you're golden. If it says 90, put it back. Now, where do you live? Because this matters. If you're in a cool or coastal pocket, USDA zones 3 through 6, northern UK, the Pacific Northwest, lean on early varieties and transplants. Beans, zucchini, cucumbers, chard, beets, carrots, and early tomatoes will all finish for you. Skip okra unless you've got a hot microclimate against a south wall. Temperate gardeners in zones 6 through 8 get the full menu, including a last shot at early sweet corn. And if you're cooking in zones 8 through 10, Texas, Florida, the Mediterranean, okra is your headliner. You'll want 30% shade cloth, ready for anything with a tender root. One climate, one playbook. So which crops give you the fastest wins of all? Bush beans are the fastest pantry filler you can plant today. Provider, contender, Tavera, drop them in the ground, water, walk away. 50 to 60 days. Here's the move most people miss. Don't plant the whole row at once. Sow a short stretch every 10 to 14 days through mid-July. You'll be picking handfuls into September while your neighbor's single planting browns out in August. Zucchini next. 45 to 55 days from seed. Dunya, Costata Romanesco, Black Beauty, Success PM. If powdery mildew haunts your patch, give each plant 3 to 4 feet. They balloon. Mulch heavy. To keep soil cool, and cover them with floating row cover until you see the first yellow flower. That cover is what stops the squash vine borer from drilling your stems in late June. Pull it the moment flowers open because bees need access. Cucumbers round out the sprint. Marketmore 76, Diva, Excelsior for pickles, Socrates if you garden under cover. Trellis them. Always trellis them. Vertical cukes get more airflow, fewer diseases, and straighter fruit. The one thing that ruins cucumbers? Inconsistent water. Let them dry out for a weekend, and every fruit turns bitter. So you've got beans, squash, and cukes. But what about the big two? The tomatoes and peppers everyone assumes are off the table. It's not too late for tomatoes. It's just too late for seeds. Walk into any garden center this week and grab transplants, but be picky. You want stocky starts, thick stems, no spindly, leggy nonsense. Early girl, celebrity, glacier, stupus, aroma for sauce. Anything in the 55 to 70 day range. Now, the counterintuitive move. When you plant, bury 2/3 of the stem. Roots will sprout along the buried portion and double your root mass in a week. Then, and this hurts, pinch off every flower for the first 7 days. The plant needs to root before it fruits. Mulch it. Walk away. Peppers are pickier. They sulk in cold soil and refuse to set fruit until nights stay above 55 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 13 to 16 Celsius. Ace bells, Jimmy Nardello for frying, early jalapeno, shishito for the grill. Lay black plastic or dark mulch around them to crank up soil temperature. Keep moisture even. Uneven watering is exactly how you get blossom end rot, those nasty black bottoms on your first peppers. Get this right, and you'll be pulling fruit by mid-August. But here's the question. Nobody asks until July. Is there still a window for corn? Sweet corn in June feels reckless. It isn't, if you pick the right hybrid. 65 to 80 day varieties will still finish in most regions before the cold returns. Early Sunglow at 63 days. Sugar Buns at 70. Trinity at 76. UK gardeners reach for Swift. Now the spacing trap. Most beginners plant corn in one long line along a fence. That line will never pollinate properly, and you'll get cobs with half the kernels missing. Corn is wind-pollinated. It needs neighbors on every side. Plant in a block, 3 or 4 short rows, 8 to 12 inches between plants. A 4x4 block beats a 20-foot row every time. Feed it. Corn is the hungriest crop in your garden. When the stalks hit your knee, side dress with nitrogen. A handful of blood meal or balanced fertilizer along each row, scratched in, watered down. Skip this step, and your ears come up half-filled and pale. Keep water steady through tasseling and silk. That's when kernels are forming, and stress now means gappy cobs at harvest. Pull back the husk in late August, and you'll find rows of fat, milky kernels that taste like summer in a bite. So that's corn. But what about the gardeners, sweating in true heat? And what should the rest of us swap in? Okra is the crop that laughs at July. While your lettuce bolts and your spinach turns to mush, okra is just warming up. Pods in 50 to 60 days from transplant. And once it starts, it will not stop. Clemson Spineless is the classic. Jambalaya is faster and more compact. Burgundy gives you red pods that look like jewelry on the plant. Direct sow into genuinely warm soil, 70 degrees minimum, or set out transplants. Space them 12 to 18 inches. Then the harvest rule. Pick young. Pods longer than your finger turn to wood overnight. Walk the row every other day with scissors. Now, if you're somewhere cool, Seattle, Scotland, anywhere your summer barely cracks 75, forget okra. It'll just sit there, sulking. Swap it for Malabar spinach or New Zealand spinach instead. Neither one is true spinach. Malabar is a climbing vine with thick, glossy leaves that taste like spinach without any bitterness, and it loves heat. New Zealand spinach sprawls low and gives you cut-and-come-again greens straight through the hottest weeks. Both shrug at temperatures that would kill regular spinach in 48 hours. That covers the heat slot. But 3 crops are left, and they're the ones that quietly carry you into October if you sow them this week. Carrots in June sound wrong. They aren't. They're a gift to October you. Napoli, Mokum, Nelson, Yellowstone, Purple Haze, 60 to 75 days. The problem is germination. Carrot seed is tiny, and June sun bakes the surface dry in 2 hours. So lay a wooden board flat on top of the seeded row, or burlap, or shade cloth, anything that traps moisture. Peek under it daily, and the second you see green threads, pull the cover off. That single trick takes carrot germination from 30% to 90%. Beets next. Same window, 50 to 65 days. Soak the seed clusters overnight before sowing. Thin ruthlessly to 3 or 4 inches, because every cluster contains multiple seeds. Early Wonder, Kestrel, Red Ace, Kioja with its candy stripe rings, golden for color. Swiss chard finishes the set. Baby leaves in 30 days, full size in 50 to 60. Ford Hook Giant, Bright Lights, rhubarb chard for ruby stems. It handles heat where spinach quits and partial shade is fine. Now the June playbook that ties it all together. Sow in the evening, never midday. Keep seed beds evenly moist. Check twice a day in a heat wave. Mulch, 2 to 3 inches once seedlings stand up. Throw 30% shade cloth over anything fragile during heat spikes. Use row cover or insect netting at planting to block cucumber beetles, squash bugs, and flea beetles. Then peel it back the moment flowers open so pollinators can work. Feed lightly but often. That's the whole system. Back to that board on the carrot bed. That's the whole point. June isn't a deadline, it's a shortcut. And the smallest moves carry the biggest weight. Pick a fast variety. Mulch it, cover it, water it. You'll be pulling beans in August, tomatoes in September, and carrots in October. Drop your location or hardiness zone in the comments, and I'll give you tailored variety picks and your true last chance planting dates.